right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Knight Café. We're your host. This is Nathan Jones, otherwise known as the Hermit Druid, and Olive, the Harrowmistress Pascal.
Hello.
And today we are joined by our recurring special guest, the Flooded Strands, the War Master, Jose. How you doing?
Morning, lads. Doing good.
Lads.
Doing good.
We
Good
doing
morning,
good.
lads.
Morning, lads. Well, before we start getting a little too goofy, today on the Knight Café podcast, we're going to be talking about our tournament recaps from our last episode, which was about prepping for tournaments. So if you haven't heard that one, please go check it out. But before all of that, we just want to say thank you to our patrons and Discord members. You are the reason why we are even making this podcast. So when we say we do this for you, I am being quite literal about it. Before we get into the rest of our podcast, we're going to just cover some opening topics and a little chat. So what are y'all working on right now? Jose, you said you got something going on? You gonna do painting project?
Yeah, I'll explain a little bit later why, but I am painting a battle wagon in Dark Angel's colors.
Ooh, this is what we like to call in the literary scene foreshadowing.
I am currently trying to get my Emperor's Children finally finalized and everything. They're taking a little bit, but yeah. Honestly, the other thing too is my Gene Stealer cults are calling to me, and I'm like, I kind of want to go and move on to working on them for a little bit. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's a part of a podcast that we're probably going to dive into, or at least talk about today, at least when we talk about, our first topic about the tournament lists that everybody told me that they were playing the last episode and then decided to fucking switch on me.
It wasn't our fault.
It's very much like we all have the things that we like, and then we start trying to dabble into some other things, and then we always just keep coming back to what we like. Which in my case, I picked up Assassinorium Kingmaker again because oh my god, that book was real good, and I ended up kind of crushing half the book in basically a single sitting. I had to put it down for a while because I wanted to savor it, but unfortunately that doesn't work for me. So I'm picking it up to finish it off because, god damn it, I fucking love Knights. Holy fuck, do I love Knights. This is shocking to nobody. Anyways, so instead of painting my Marines, I am currently picking up Kingmaker because I also, have putting together that Space Marines army, but after reading Kingmaker, I'm like, maybe I don't need some of these Marines, and maybe somebody has a few more armigers that they might want to trade.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize you were going that much harder into Knights. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I could use a Dominus.
I guess you don't have a Dominus.
I don't have a Dominus.
That's fair. That's the biggest boy of Knights ever.
Well, so it's actually shorter than the Cerastus, but they're smaller than the Cerastus Knight pattern Knights, but not by much. And the Cerastus Knight pattern Knights are usually they're older. Well, not older. They're all old actually. That's a long topic.
The Dominus is the one with all the guns, right?
The Dominus is the walking gun platform, and one of the major reasons why I haven't picked it up as of late is because one of my primary opponents plays Gaunt Swarm.deck.
Huh.
So throwing an entire thing of a ranged mobile platform that just can get tied up with 90 points of Gaunts, it's been a little rough. That being said, I still.
No, that's exactly what you need. You just have so many guns that Gaunts can't get at you.
Well, that's when you play the Knight Valiant that has the configuration cannon. So 3d6, -2 AP strength, whatever, flamethrower. Either way, I don't have a Dominus, and I'd very much like to possibly play an Armiger Swarm list. That's just because I really love the Thermal Lance off the Warglaive is my favorite stim, because god, you point that at any, especially after last game when you made me realize that I can actually, I was too busy squiring my Helverins.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, you do realize you can squire your Thermal Lance and make it an AP 5.
Did I tell you that?
Yeah, you told me that when I was fighting the Vindicator.
I shouldn't have said that.
No, you shouldn't have, because now Tamir has been just getting his shit rocked. Poor guy.
I shouldn't have said that. Gosh.
Well, no, because then it opened up the whole idea that was wait a second, that means that puts it at a Strength 13 AP 5 Melter 4 D6 weapon with 2 shots and rerolls.
This is fine, audience, because I actually recently discovered that a legal Tyranid list is 120 Gaunts and 120 Hormagaunts. That only gets to like 1500 points. I could also work in a few like Turvagants to keep respawning them too.
That's fine. You remember that the Remember the Pyro or Meet the Pyro video?
Yeah.
Of him walking around. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if we? That would be that's my knights just carving through a bloodbath of fucking termagants. Just like Anyways, I love knights.
What about you, Flooded? How do you deal with knights?
Okay, so you know what? You know what's good for a knight? Just anything that says anti-vehicle and devastating wounds.
Oh, yeah, fair.
Probably just throw my beast boss at it with full rerolls, hitting on 2s. If I'm with Warhorde, sustain hits or critting on 5s. So I attack you, let's say 7 times, and then I hit you 15 or like 14 times. And then for every 4 up on the wound roll, it's a devastating wound. And so how many wounds does a lancer have? Like I guess the big knight. I know I can take
25.
it. 25?
Yeah, dog.
So then the rest of the wounds is gonna be the breaker boys are probably gonna have to take care of the rest.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, there's a meme that I often share, especially when it comes to people with knights, and it's like, oh, I know you have anti-tank, and I know you have railguns. It's like, it's just like what you don't. It's like what you have is units, and the hope to God that by the time that I finished fucking shooting, you still have them. That's why I love. It's like, yeah, anti-vehicle exists, but we march into the middle field, pray to fucking God, and let loose the hounds of war. Womp.
I mean, I'm not gonna like say what happened in the tournament and one of the
Oh
games,
yeah, well,
but,
talk.
Speaking of,
Oh, remember that thing we said about foreshadowing? Da 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 da. Okay, so before we get into that, let's just jump into our fucking first topic, because we can get set. We can go on for hours. So, as I mentioned earlier, you both decided to change lists on me from last time.
yeah.
First off, what did you guys end up playing and why? Let's start with you, Jose.
Okay, so after the first episode, I think I played like 3 more like prep games, and my list is just, it looks pretty similar, but there's a major difference. First off, we dropped off the tank busters. They have no synergy in Warhorde because it's just like 6 or 5 dudes just with a D3 blast weapon, but you're hitting on 5s. 4s if it's a vehicle, but if like I fall like inner circle companions and they have -1 to hit, so that's just you're hitting them on 6, so that's rough. And so first thing we dropped that. We switched it up for Breaka Boys, which have much better synergy since they have sustain hits 1 on melee. And the other change that we did was we ended up dropping Gaskell because I feel that he draws too much attention. And so it's 300 points just to die, because he is gonna pick up every bit of attention from my opponents. And so what we did instead was putting in a Warboss in Mega Armor with 6 Mega Knobs. So that's a big ball of death that just hops out of a battle wagon. And that also caused me to take my boys and just play him on the ground. Just 20 boys, a Warboss, and a Pain Boy. It overperformed in the tournament. Let me just say that. They were hands down the MVP of the tournament for me. But the rest is just pretty much the same. Beast Boss with 20 Beast Naga boys, 2 trucks, 2 flash kits, unit of Gretchen, and Storm boys for secondaries coming in out of Deep Strike. And the other Pain Boy would go with one of the Breaker boys, because it'll give them all feel no pain on 5s. And so those guys also really overperformed as well. I'll save it for my round 4 to tell you what they did, but they took out a big unit.
Sure. Well, Olive, and what did you bring? What did you decide to switch to? Because you were originally going to be playing Trader Guard?
No, I was originally supposed to play Emperor's Children.
Right.
Yeah, I switched so many times.
Right.
So yeah, I was supposed to bring Emperor's Children, but then I realized I wasn't going to be able to get them painted in time. Also, I need different bases for my Seekers, which weren't going to show up in the mail until later. So I did a last minute switch to Trader Guard, got them all painted up, got my Hammer of the War Master all done and everything, and then ran a few games with it, found out I'm really bad at Modern Guard and my list sucked, and did a extra last minute pivot back into Tyranids with a list I had concocted a long time ago and never actually brought to a tournament because I was worried that it didn't have the firepower I wanted, but I opted switching it to it because I at least knew how to run it easily, which is Tyranid Vanguard Onslaught. It consisted...
You went with Tyranids.
Yeah, I went with Tyranids in the end.
You triple faked me out, Olive.
I triple faked you out.
You triple Alpha Legion. Were you sure these Tyranids weren't Alpha Legion in disguise?
They're Alpha Legion colored because I paint all my armies fucking turquoise for some reason. So yeah, my list was basically a flying Hive Tyrant with Chameleonic, a winged Prime with a squad of 6 Tyranid Warriors, a Broodlord with 10 Gene Stealers. He has the Neuro Node, which gives me a redeploy ability, 10 Gargoyles, 10 Termagants, 5 Barbagants, 1 Biovore, 2 groups of 5 Gene Stealers, a Lictor and a Neurolictor, 2 squads of 3 Raveners, 2 squads of 3 Von Ryan Sleepers, an Exocrine, a Trigon, and a Tyrannifex. I'd never really used a Tyrannifex, like a dedicated one before, but I needed some kind of guns, so he was there on his own.
Yeah, that rupture cannon is
It's a thing. And that he did.
Yeah.
He overperformed.
We got a lot of people that made a last-minute switch to overperformance.
Yeah, he did better than he's ever done for me, and I was happy about that.
Well, I'm glad that it will continue to that will be the best it ever does for you, so that you're not pointing this strength 18 fucking D6 plus 6 weapon at my ass.
It's such a fast aggressive list that the plan is to take fixed objectives, specifically behind enemy lines and engage on all fronts, and then just use my speed and aggression to keep the fight in my opponent's side of the board. Basically, it's Gargoyle Jail, but the whole army is the jail list.
Phenomenal. So, well, I guess start with Jose, because I want to get this foreshadowing out of the way so that we're stop blue ballsing our fucking listeners. And also, I heard you mention something about inner circle companions. So you know what I mean. That seems like that was foreshadowing.
I respect them so much now.
Yeah, I mean, Dane hits too. Yeah.
They fuck.
They fuck, especially like fuck. The one thing about them is they're kind of squishy, so they kind of
they need like a lot of defense to.
Yeah, they're often paired up with Azrael or a Libby or something to give them that 4-up invul that they're absolutely fucking missing on their own. We talk in Blood Angels. We talk about like kind of like the character tax on a lot of units, because it's like these units are all right, but then they're undercosted because they're supposed to be led, and then then you count in the price for like a captain, and now that Sanguinary Guard block is 220 points, something like that. Either way. So how about you tell us about your games? Let's start about the game. How many games did you play? What was the tournament like? And start talking about it.
So we played 5 games on a Sunday. Let me tell you, I don't want to do that again.
Were all 5 games on the same day?
Yes.
That's wild.
That's fucked.
That is fucked. The day before. Oh, I'll start with like the tournament experience, but like before that, it's the pre-tournament experience. I didn't have the best sleep because I had to wake up at 6 in the morning, and I got home at like 12, so I fell asleep at like 1. So my sleep was not the great, and also I had a wisdom tooth removal that same week on Wednesday. I was fine, but I was like, I can't eat like solids food, so I'm like, I'm not.
Oh my god.
I'm not all there, right? But that was just the pre-tournament. After all the testing, I was like, okay, this is the list. I feel like I'm pretty confident in this list, and so my round 1, it was versus Tau. And I made 2 crucial mistakes. I have like what I call like the anxiety, like I'm gonna eat the clock now turn, which is my walk turn. I will almost on all my games I walk on turn 2, and so I made 2 crucial mistakes. Number 1, I forgot to move my battle wagon literally 2 inches up so it could be inside a ruin so it could do sabotage, and also in one of the trucks I had the Breaker Boys and the Flash Kits, and another truck is just Flash Kits. And so I mixed them up, and when one of my trucks died, I dropped both Flash Kits and the Breaker Boys, but the Breaker Boys ended up on the wrong side of the battlefield. And so now this broadside. It just has a whole firing lane when the storm surge just all to itself, and so that kind of messed me up. And so the game ended in a tie, but because we're playing under WTC rules, this kind of sucks. We either both lose, there's a double loss, 0-70, or I could concede on my round two. Well, not concede, but like just played until it was round two, and so we at least both get points. And so I ended up losing my first game.
Oof.
It sucks. It happens, but it's just at the end of the day, it's a game. We're just here to, have fun and try to win, but we're not gonna be assholes about it. And it's a oof.
No,
It's a
we leave
big
that to
oof.
CEH.
Yeah. uh,
If anybody
that's
knows about that drama that went on recently about an 11-hour final CDH game that someone was trying to talk them out to just fucking quitting or to letting him win by the end of it. Either way.
buddy.
Continue.
Welcome to my TED talk of like having an 11-hour turn. It's just wild.
Yeah,
But
anyways, sorry.
round two, it was Dark Angels, and so it was against my buddy that we tested like 3 times, and so that was what I call my most fun game because it's just like having a good time playing with just chilling after that like round one like feel bads. And so my Beast Naga wagon, like us, it was 2 battle wagons. One had all the 20 Beast Nagas, and the other one had like Mega Knobs and Breaker Boys. And so the Beast Naga wagon went down early. And so he targeted my Beast Naga boys pretty hard because clearly the Beast Boss can take out the Lion. So he made some mistakes in terms of using some strats. He dropped some Terminators with Rapid Ingress that I probably wouldn't have done. But the fun thing was, and the reason why I am painting a battle wagon in Dark Angel's colors, it's because the battle wagon killed the lion in shooting. Oh, that was insane.
A battle wagon killed the lion in shooting. I love that stuff.
Yeah, it like because the lion is a monster, right? So you're allowed
Oh,
to shoot
right.
it in engagement range. So okay, I was like, you know
Hmm.
what? I lose nothing by rolling one die. And so I rolled my like the big gun, like I think it was just a cannon, but I chose like the one shot, so I have to spike a 6. Spike the 6, wound. He rolled a 1, 5 damage.
Damn. I love that shit. It's so good.
Yeah, yeah. So we ended up winning that game. Don't have my scores on me, but like I ended up winning.
It's okay.
And so and the round 3 was against Space Marines, Ultramarines actually. And so my opponent, he never played against orcs, but he was kind of like intimidated, and so he just stayed behind in his back line.
Yeah, you can't
The
do
whole
that in
game.
this game. You can't do that in this, at least in 40 like 10th edition or whatnot. That's the one fucking thing that I've definitely learned. You gotta be aggressive. You have to.
No, yeah, like you have to like be aggressive, but like you have to be smart about it. So like I'm
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
gonna go whole hard into my opponent. You have to get out of your deployment zone at least 9 out of your 10 units, just to give you an example.
Yeah, it's like the bell curve of run at your opponents. No, you got to do this. You got to do this thing, and then the other end of the bell curve is go at them. You just go at them smarter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
The
need
way I
to.
described orcs is like you have to get closer to your opponent by losing the least amount of possible.
Yeah, I often it's one of my problems. Like I'm starting to get braver with my knights. Is like just they only have so much anti-tank. Get up there, overload them, and make them have it, and then fuck them.
So, this game, my wagons saved so great because battle wagons have basically armor of contempt always. They have an ability where if they are the target of an attack, they worsen the AP by 1.
Hmm.
And so, if you combine that with cover, that means that like an AP2 weapon, I'm still saving on my 3s. And so it was like I just like was saving 4s, 5s, or 3s. It's just like a lot of like they saved pretty well. I think only like 1 or 2 shots went through, but no battle wagon was popped in round 1. Basically,
Nice.
it was popped in round 2. But after that, I hid my boys pretty well because I have to respect that Vindicator. The Vindicator is it fucks me. It'll destroy it'll ruin my day because it's D6 plus 3 shots, and it's the anti-horde weapon.
With
And so,
blast.
with blast, exactly. So 20 boys, even though they move 8 inches base, and then on the walk turn they can move 10 inches. They will ruin my day. And so that game we scored pretty low because it was a ritual, and so there were only 2 objectives the whole game. So we still won that game as well, but it was that was the third game of the day, 2,000 points. My mind was jello by then.
At least you won your ritual game you had to play.
Yeah, I mean my objective performers are the trucks basically because they pretty much just after they drop my boys, that's what they do. They're there for they're to perform objectives.
Yeah.
And then round 4 was I feel like even though I lost, it was the overall best game I played. I don't feel like I made too bad of a mistake at all that would cost me the game. Maybe I feel like I just overcommitted in killing a Lord of Skulls, and that's the big unit I killed this game. I threw my 2 units of Breaker Boys and my Mega Knobs at it, and I killed it in the first unit of Breaker Boys. It was just the Mega Knobs. He used 2 CPs to minus my damage, and then Breaker Boys mopped it up. There was like a lot of mess going around the whole table. I don't remember exactly the mission what it was. I think it was just burning objectives. Scorched Earth, I believe. Another funny thing that happened in this game is because I was in the WOG, all my units have invuln on 5. And so a unit of Exalted 8-bound couldn't kill a unit of Gretchens, which is hilarious. They don't save.
Oh god.
They don't save. So it's just like, okay, how many attacks? 12? Okay. 7 went through, so you don't kill the unit. And so I lost that game by like 3 points.
I can't believe someone brought Lord of Skulls to a tournament. That's crazy to me.
Fuck yeah.
Putting that many points in one basket is insane.
Hey,
In
shut up.
in new World Eaters, it kind of fucks.
It kind of fucks. Like,
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been showing up a couple times in the tournament scene. Like I've seen because they need some firepower, dog, and that thing is a
You drop
lot of fucking
Angron.
firepower.
Yeah, you drop Angron, just put in a Lord of Skulls.
Yeah, because Angron's kind of not good right now, and the Lord of Skulls is a lot of fucking firepower, and the World Eaters need some fucking shooting. As we were mentioning earlier about like the fact that I'm night pilled, I see like Tamir's played Lord of Skulls against me, and it was just immediately like I lined up I lined up the Lancer. It's just like, okay, buddy, you know what to do, right? Lancer's like, I'm like, okay, go get him. Sorry. Anyways, tell us more about this. So tell us more.
Game 5.
Yeah.
Game 5, we did not play it because our opponent conceded.
Aw.
And so it was 9 o'clock at night, so we were gonna be leaving the store at like midnight. And so after a whole day of Warhammering, we only got 4 games in. But we won the 5th one 0-70. But because of how I scored in my games, I didn't score a lot of points. I ended up getting 10th. And so that was, well, it wasn't the result I wanted. I still had a lot of fun, but this was my first big tournament of Warhammer. And so I feel that I did the best I could given my circumstances, right? My mistake, they cost me some of my games, but we live and learn from that, you know. We just take the feedback and take what happened in the game and then just learn from it, and then you carry on into the next one.
Yeah, me and the boys, we had a good crumping. We got crumped in return, and then we crumped back, and then we decided, you know what, we had enough. We're going home.
How many players were in the tournament?
19.
Oh, okay. Nice.
There was supposed to be like 22, but there were some drops.
I mean, this is pretty good. You did win the majority of your games, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, I could have won more.
Fair. Yeah, so yeah, you tied your first one and then lost the one against World Eaters.
Yeah, it sucks, but it's, you know what? I had a great time.
That's the important thing.
We had a proper good crumping, lads. Yeah.
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 Well, I kind of had a similar experience, actually.
Oh,
So my tournament was only 3 games. It was a less insane one. Still an early start, all things considered. And it was also about the same size. I think it was like a 24 players kind of thing. My overall game plan, as I had said, is basically a jail list. Take fixed objectives to get points for being on my opponent's side of the board, and then keep my opponent on their side of the board so I can also hold all the primary points. Game 1 was versus World Eaters. He didn't have a Lord of Skulls, but he did have an Angron. But he put his Angron into Deep Strike, and my army is absurdly good at flooding the board with bodies.
yeah.
And so Angron wasn't able to show up until turn 3, and it had to be in his deployment zone. Because I controlled the entire board that game.
If you look at your army and decide to put anything in Deep Strike, that is definitively a legal choice that you are allowed to make.
It was a bad choice.
But it's a bad choice.
And my Deep Strikers kept showing up in his deployment zone too, because he didn't have enough bodies to properly screen it, which meant he had to keep sending stuff back to go deal with that. The mission itself, I think, was just basic take and hold on hamburger setup. So it was like short table edges, basically. All my missions were short table edges. I saw the missions ahead of time. So I knew that it would be easy to lock people into the deployment zones, which is why I took the list I did in the end. That's why I pivoted from Trader Guard at the last minute, because this was not a good... These games were not good for shooting armies. These games were much better for armies that could punch in melee, because there's lots of line of sight blocking stuff on a long board. Anyways, yeah, so I won that game, 90-53. The funniest part was, one, my Tyrannofex, I think, shot down 3 different Demon Princes that game, which is hilarious. But also, I had a Lictor who got to eat Karn's brain twice and get me 2 CP from the same guy, because Karn respawns after he dies. And then the Lictor was just like, I guess I'm doing it again, chomp.
Checks out. Score that assassination points to double time. Nice.
Poor Karn. The only reason the Lictor was able to do it is because Karn's plasma pistol overcharged, so he only had 2 wounds when the Lictor finally got at him.
Yeah.
Game 2 was versus Eldar, specifically Host of Iniad, the one that is the meta list right now.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, they kind of had a similar list to mine. It moves fast, it hits hards, lots of MSU, so that they're able to board screen properly and everything like that. So he was able to keep his backboard screened with a lot of aspect warriors like Dark Reapers and Warp Spiders and guys on bikes to basically they hold the back line, but they can easily get into the middle of the board instantly, because I think they move 24 inches and stuff like that when they want to. Eldar are crazy friggin' fast.
That is their thing. They're a fast, squishy, high skill ceiling army.
Yeah. So, and I unfortunately kind of got a little intimidated because I had a bad first turn. This was the only game I went second. My list thrives on going first and getting a first turn charge off into my opponent's deployment zone. I went second on this game, and my Von Ryan's Leapers, the guys who literally were able to fight off Karn and a bunch of Berserkers on the previous game, charged a squad of Striking Scorpions, 5 of them, didn't kill any of them, and then got wiped out in return. And I'm like, okay, Eldar are not as squishy as I remember them being, and so I started to kind of panic from that a little bit. And he had all these Howling Banshees guarding the center objective, basically threatening me to come and try and take it. And so I had to sort of come up with a game plan that involved some fancy charges with the Hive Tyrant and stuff like that. It kind of worked. I lost a lot trying to take that center objective. And yeah, he was able to keep my deep strikes from showing up in his backfield early on. I did eventually start getting stuff back there to score with. Oh god, and finally, this was also the ritual. So he just built 3 objectives on his side of the board, so he didn't even need to come to me that far. It was just forcing me to come to him, which is what you never want to do, actually. A normal 40k game, there is a dead zone they talk about. And that zone is between the center of the board and your opponent's deployment zone, where their deployment zone basically ends or starts, or however you want to say it, to the center of the board. Mm-hmm. That is not where you want to fight. That is the worst place to fight. It's the kill box. It's where your opponent is able to destroy you.
Yeah, it's the kill them. It forces you to overextend, a lot of overextension. Makes you
there's
weaken yourself.
It means that your army can't support itself anymore. And unfortunately, because of the ritual, and he had so much MSU, and my right flank attack literally failed because of those Von Ryan's Leapers leading the charge and just bouncing off of those striking scorpions, basically meant that he was able to fight me in the kill box a lot of the time. And it was really bad, and I lost a lot of stuff. By the end of the game, I basically had nothing left on the board. He had a whole army still. He had the Avatar of Iniad in that list, who can literally pop up anywhere. Wacky rule. If you kill a unit, it just shows up in that unit spot. Which I was like really trying to play around, but it did not work out great. And I ended up losing 71 to 92. I kind of made him work for it, but to be fair, we only actually even got up to like turn 3 and had to talk out the last 2 turns because he was taking so long on his movement phases. It was really frustrating for me. I really wish we had a chess clock there, because I guarantee he would have ran out of time by the end of turn 2. Because my turns were going, because I need to talk about game 3. My turns, because I had very little shooting in my army, my turns were crazy fast. Like, I would get a turn done in under 10 minutes kind of thing. Like, I was just like, move everything forwards. I was using an elite Tyranid army that was super fast, and I could get my turns done very quick. So yeah, I lost that one, unfortunately. I really wish I just, if I were to play it again, I wouldn't have taken fixed secondaries. I would have went tactical, and I would have just sent my entire army up as a big blob, instead of sort of basically sending like questing tendrils of different units out to see what's dangerous and what's not. I lost too many units doing that.
So it sounds like, because they have no problem wiping things out. What you need to kind of almost do is threat overload.
Yep, that's what I needed to do, and I didn't do that.
But you just kind of fed your units to them at this. It sounds like you just kind of like, here you go, eat this. Oh, here you go, eat this. Oh, here you go, eat this. Were what you needed to do.
Well, it's I hadn't played against Eldar since the very start of 10th, so I had to learn by losing units.
Yeah. Well, that's working like the Tyranid. That's working like the hive mind. Is sending these probes in. It's like, oh shit, this isn't working. So now you know next time.
Yeah. No, next time if I were to have a rematch with this guy, I know exactly what I would do. Don't even bother with Deep Strike. Just put it all on the line and just shove it down his throat and be like, here, deal with it.
Honestly, that's like one of the ways that I have dealt with Eldar when I've run into them is basically this along the same lines of just threat overload.
Yep.
Just like the opposite. One of the best ways to counter super brainy shit is just by just throwing brawn, just meat.
Unga bunga.
Unga bunga, exactly. I unga, therefore I bunga.
Exactly.
So tell us about the next game.
Yeah, so last game I got put up against Chaos Knight.
Yes.
And I was spooked because you know that I don't like fighting in the Knights with my Tyranids, especially with Vanguard Onslaught, because most of my stuff has the fly keyword, and you like that stuff. However, these are Chaos Knights, not Imperial Knights. They don't have the built-in rerolls, so they aren't nearly as threatening, and they don't have the armatures with the anti-fly 2-up. Instead, his list was 2 big knights and then 6 war dog brigands. So they're the chain cannon, melta cannon.
A very Imperial style list.
But I still was spooked going into that. But turn 2, my Tyrannifex was able to destroy one of his big knights in just an absurdly lucky roll. And after that, I just got overconfident. I'm like, I don't need to worry anymore. I literally took out a quarter of your army in one shot. I'm just going all in kind of thing. And he was trying to do what the Eldar was doing, trying to screen his home field as much as possible to stop me from scoring. It didn't work because his army just didn't have the bodies and size to work with that. And so I was able to get Spore Mines back there. I was able to get Von Ryan's Leapers back there, Raveners, all kinds of things were showing up in his deployment zone. Hell, the Trigon, I think, showed up in the corner of his deployment zone on turn 3. And he had to turn his whole knight army around to go deal with that. So it was a great game, actually. And here is absolute proof that I'm not lying about my turns only taking 10 minutes. We got that game done. We got turn 5 done. I had won by the end of that game, 92 to 82. It was a close game. We were both scoring a lot. It was Scorched Earth, so we both managed to burn objectives. I kept trying to burn his home objective because I was fast enough to just get over there and start causing problems for him. And he had to keep turning stuff around to go deal with the stuff I was sending to his home objective. But yeah, it was a really great game. And we finished. We packed up our stuff. And then looked around, and we're like, everyone's still playing. What? And we checked the time. We had no idea what time it was. We had finished a half an hour early. because both of us had really fast turns, because he was doing knights and I was doing speed tyranids with no shooting, and all he had was shooting, so he didn't have melee. And our turns were just, we got that game done in like 2.5 hours basically, instead of no, how long are those? I think our games were 3 hours, so yeah, 2.5. And we're basically just going around talking to other people, distracting them from their games. And I actually went and saw that Eldar player again, and well, like when the time was over for the 3 hour time, and he was talking out his 4th and 5th turns again. And I was like, oh, okay, so Eldar are just like this. Like, they take forever to get their turns done. Because it's, yeah, like you said, big brain tactics. It's like, screw that, we're in tournament play. I really wish we had chess clocks there. I really wish it was more professional. They opened it up saying that their judge didn't show up, so it ended up being a bit more of a casual event.
Yeah.
Which was sad, and yeah, they hadn't provided chess clocks.
Yeah.
Don't play without a chess clock, friends. It's really important to have it.
Yeah. This also reminds me again of the CDH TDH tournament that was going on about like eating up time and then kind of sitting there and trying to convince people that you win instead of just fucking winning.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that stuff.
That's one of those like 100% because then that's angle shooting. It's like I was like, where the fuck was the judge? And then they're like, there is no judge, and it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah. So.
And like I can't stand slow play in a lot of things because like I have ADHD. I like a general flow of things, and like it pulls me out, and then I have to try and get back into the game. And someone's just sitting there, just kind of like running down a clock.
Yeah.
And like that's why we have slow play rules in Magic the Gathering. But yeah, it's one of those problems I find, especially with those like big brain armies, is just like especially when you crush them with your unga bunga. They're like, well, I'm playing the best army here. I'm playing. It's like, yeah, man, it's a high skill ceiling army. Skill issue. It's literally you. The reason why you're losing is literally you. You are throwing squishy shit into things, like, either way.
Yeah. So overall, 24-player event, I actually came in 5th place, but, gang.
The points were so close.
The points were so friggin' skewed on the whole thing, because if you notice, I got 90, 71, 92. That's a high total for the day for 3 games. And when you look at the final scores, the 2 people ahead of me who got 4th and 3rd were literally within 7 points of my total. So, like, if I had literally burned one, or if I had literally scored 5 more points against the Eldar, I would have been in 3rd place. And the Eldar player was the one who came in 2nd, and he had a lower score than all 3 of us. So, just because he didn't lose any of his games, because basically, yeah, he literally talked out turns 4 and 5. In all his games and convinced his opponent that he would have won. So I don't like that kind of a play style. I really, really wish we had our chess clocks.
No.
Playing the game fast and playing it confidently is part of the experience. You can't run down the clock and then just screw over your opponent by taking up all the time. We are trying, there is a social contract between us that you are supposed to be going as fast as possible. Go into your tournaments with a game plan and stick to the game plan, because that is how your army works.
This is one of the reasons why I haven't joined you yet for any of the competitions, is because I don't feel confident in like whatnot, especially on a clock. So like eventually I'm going to start practicing, because like, I want to have more things to talk about on this podcast. But like, yeah, no, I that's what's been kind of holding me back about that, is I know I'm not ready to be the best opponent to play against. So I need to work on perfecting myself before I start like subjecting other people to me kind of like being indecisive and like hopefully not getting battle shocked like I did the last time on stream.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, no, like 100%. Like it goes a lot of it. Keeping like, it's like I grew up playing golf, which is like 90% mental.
Really? I've never played golf.
Oh well, because like it's. When we talk about like a game like hockey, which is another game I play, you very much hit a flow state because you're not concerned about any of your actions. You're too busy doing them.
Yeah.
On the opposite end of that, you have a sport like golf, where you're going to walk up, line it up, hit it, and then then the next time you make another action, it's going to be another 5-10 minutes. You need to be able to keep this prolonged flow state over a long portion of time. And like
interesting.
And then you say you make a mistake. You have to hit it there in 3, hit it there in 4, whatever the par for the hole is. You hit it. It's going to be another 5 minutes before you hop on your cart or fucking walk over to that. But now what you can't do is let yourself stew in it. You have to like, oh shit, I hit that into the fucking thing. How am I getting out of this? There is no, if you allow yourself to stew, like I remember my father was a professional golfer, and he took me as a child once to like, hang out with him because, that's what you do. Unfortunately, trying to play a sport with a fucking 10-year-old around is a little bit difficult. And
yeah, 10-year-olds are like
I
that.
chirped my dad.
What's that mean?
In this, like, when chirped, like, talk shit.
Oh.
Because I was just like, like he missed a shot or something, and I was like, I just made a joke. He literally just let out a deep sigh, like, in retrospect, I could just see like all the rage build up, and then just let out a sigh, and then put his clubs away and turned around and got in the cart and left.
Oh my god!
It like calmly. He stood there for like few minutes because he's in a competition. He's playing a sport, and then like someone chirps him from the fucking things, and he's just like, he basically said like he could not get himself back in line. He could not get his mentals back in line. Ergo, he'd already lost the game. So there was no point in continuing frustrating himself, so he's basically scooped.
Oh yeah, see, that's like the opposite of how I approach 40K. Where I'm just like, no, flow state, always flow state. That's just how I live.
Yeah, but they both are flow states.
Oh, okay.
This is all flow state mentality, and if anybody wants to look up on there's a lot of fucking books on this. Sports psychology is one of my favorite things in the world. But it's whether or not it's a flow state when you have no action is far more difficult and far more mentally exhausting than it is to when you just don't have time to think. It's very easy. Like, that's why I like fencing. Like, there is no time to think or overthink or get nervous when you're having a 3-pound iron bar swung at your head. You just do it. It's like there is no thought, which is again why people chirp a lot of shit about golf or say darts, but there's very little there's a lot of lack of respect for the amount of mental fortitude and training that it takes to constantly keep yourself in this flow state and keep yourself concentrated with no outside stimuli, or learning that if I've made a mistake, how to compartmentalize. Like, if you made a mistake in a game of hockey, it's over. You're already on to the next thing. You don't have a 5-minute walk that you need to try and like clear the mechanism. If anybody is familiar with that movie.
No, sorry.
I know I am a big old fucking nerd and whatnot, but I am a jock. So Clear the Mechanism it's a Kevin Costner line. Well, I just need to remember what fucking movie it's from. Either way, he's a pitcher, and he walks on. Clear the Mechanism was his a trigger word, a mental a mantra.
Okay.
Of walking onto the pitch in the middle of a fucking stadium full of screaming people. How the fuck do you focus on throwing a perfect pitch like that in this amount of pressure? And that was his thing. He would just walk onto the pitch, clear the mechanism.
Yeah.
And you would the editors of the movie. Pardon? For the love of the game. That's it. Yes. Yeah. So the audio editors would actually just drop the volume. So he'd walk onto the pitch, clear the mechanism, and all of a sudden you just hear everything drowning out from outside. And it actually showed up near later in the movie when he fucks up, or he's against a batter who has his number, and he's constantly out there. He's like, clear the mechanism. You hear the dim go down, and then it starts getting louder, and he's like, clear the fucking mechanism. Clear the fucking mechanism. So, anyways, flow state and sports psychology, and learning how to keep yourself in a state where you are paying attention is very important to all games. It's not just physical sport, but as much more like Magic the Gathering, Warhammer 40K. You need to act with not recklessness, but confidence. But if anybody wants to check out any more of this, please look up Flow, the psychology of optimal experience.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. I think I will.
Add that to your studies. You're only ever going to be a 50% gamer if you only focus on your gaming, and not the gamer as the person who's playing the game. You can know all the rules in all the world, but if you don't actually perfect yourself, then, well, you're only going to be a 50% warrior.
I don't know what you're talking about. 40K is where I live. I'm fine. It's the only time where anyway. I'm mentally stable.
I mean, yeah, because that's when you're in the flow state.
Yeah.
And so because we kind of alluded to it, would you two like to talk more about points?
Points.
Because there has to be a certain time that, I've heard some people talk about it, where you're losing, you're not going to win the game. But, when it comes down to, the final top 5 points can matter. So you said, maybe I'm not going to focus on keeping my units alive. Maybe I am just going to throw away, because I already lost. maybe I will just throw away this entire chunk of my army just to score 5 more points.
So, actually, Flooded, do you want to take that first, or do you want me to go?
Yeah. You jump on that one first. I've kind of dominated the last little bit.
Oh, it's fine. In terms of points, I was like, I wasn't really thinking about the points in terms of the tournament. I was just thinking of like, I'm just gonna try to win and win in advance, basically. And so the reason why I got 10th is because like, even though I ended up with like a 3-2 record, and there were like a couple of people like over me that had the same record, my games were really low, and the Dark Angels player actually ended up 7th, the one that I beat.
Oh, damn.
And the reason, and so part of that has to do with the fact that he got a concede on round 3, so he got 70 points. Then round 4, he got an opponent that ran out of time. We had chess clock,
Ah, lucky.
and so he got 80 points. And in round 5, he won his game. I don't remember exactly how many points he got, but in my games, it was literally like, well, we both timing was called in round, or pretty like it's 2 hours. So basically, you have like an hour or 15 minutes per player. So time gets called in a round, and we're like on turn 3 because like some people play kind of slow. I feel like I play a little bit slow, but I'm piloting a horde army, so I'm just like I have to basically just cocaine fuel, just go full on. Try to play as fast as possible. I call it the adrenaline turn because it's the walk turn. It's the adrenaline turn. We're in an air conditioned environment and I am sweating bullets because like the adrenaline is going so hard about that, and that's and so I'm not thinking about the points. I'm just thinking of like I'm just trying to get my game in and I'm trying to win before I run out of time, and so that can cost me my placing in terms of the tournament.
I totally feel where you're coming from, though, where it's like, yeah, you're in an air-conditioned room and you're sweating bullets. Like, I think that was me the whole fucking day, honestly. It's it's actually more physically demanding than you'd think playing a 40K tournament. You're moving around quite a bit doing that. I was describing it to someone after the fact that you're basically at like a party. Like, imagine that you're at like a party, there's loud music playing, there are loud people screaming, you're dancing and moving around and stuff and hanging out with people, but this party lasts for 9 hours and there are no breaks. There's no couch that you can sit down on and take a breather or anything like that. It is just go, go, go. You are partying for 9 hours straight.
Well, also not like to add to all of that, you are standing, which is
Yep.
takes its own thing, but you are thinking a lot, and you're which is one of the problems that when Flooded mentioned about like not eating solid food, is your brain consumes about 500 to 700 calories, like 500 a day, generally speaking. So eating, like starting to, even if you are like a gamer, starting to treat your body with some respect will make you a better gamer. Feed your brain. There's like a reason why you see like a lot of these professional gamers are all fucking jacked and shit, and it's like, what the hell is that? And it's like because they like realize that, again, as I mentioned earlier, if you focus 100% on your game and none of it on the gamer, you will only ever be a 100% gamer.
Yeah. As for me, I mean, I'm pretty good at scoring. Nathan, you know this, that I tend to get a high score. If you need, if you guys ever need to beat me, you have to score, because I will score higher than you if you're not paying attention to doing your secondaries and stuff. I mean, even in my last game, I was at 71, and that was for 2 turns not scoring because I ran out of an army by the end of the game. But so yeah, and Tyranids also are just very good at scoring. Like a Biovore easily gets you 20 points by the end of the game. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, those biovores are what actually stress me the fuck out, because they're all the way on your end of your field. I can't do anything really to interact with them, and I can't do anything to really fucking stop them. And I try to get to them, or try to find, like, killing an 80-point unit, like 60-point unit like that.
They're wild.
They make up their shit so fucking fast, dog. Like, biovores are so fucking good. They're so good, especially on a fix behind enemy lines and shit, engaging all fronts. Like, fuck you. Holy fuck.
Just getting a spur mine into my opponent's deployment zone gets me 5 secondary points right there. 1 spore mine for 5, and then I have a Von Ryan's Leapers jump in on the other side to get me the total 10.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, between engaging all fronts and behind enemy lines, between scoring 2 of those off of a single bio, like spore mine.
Yeah.
Like, how many points is that?
50 points. 50 points gets you 20 points throughout the game.
Ah, God, no. Everybody wonders why, like, I I don't say I hate playing against you. You know what I mean? Like, playing against you is so fucking stressful. They're like, but you're doing so well, and I'm like.
So actually, there's a saying in my gaming group: don't play chicken with Olive because she always wins.
Yeah.
And that is because, yeah, like in situations like that, I will just go all in. I will crash my car into you if I have to. I will not blink when given that opportunity. And against that Eldar player, I unfortunately blinked.
You blinked.
That was my problem, and I didn't go full Olive. And that's why I lost.
You always
at least
go
we
full
know.
Olive.
Yeah, always go full dick.
Yeah. When you're playing chicken and someone brings out a bigger car and is driving right at you, you just push the gas further. That's the proper way to win the Olive way.
Exactly. Well, so that's generally our takeaways from this is kind of commit to it. Don't avoid battle shock.
Yes.
Look after your fucking brain because you need to maintain it throughout this entire thing. And points win games.
Points win the game.
Killing leads to points, but if it doesn't lead to points, then it's just not doing anything. Well, is there anything that we need to add to that, or is there anything you would like to add?
Just like and subscribe, people. It really does help.
Oh yeah, like it. Yes, please.
Comment below. I'll always respond, even if you just say like, "Hey, cool story, bro," and I'll be like, "Yeah, it is."
Yeah, it is. Maybe tell us about some of your tournaments, and let us know. And I guess
Honestly, send me your tournament lists. Post them in the chat below. I'll comment on them.
absolutely. And also, if you want to talk about stuff and get some practice games and whatnot, we do have a Discord. And we do like to get some practice games in because we have a very friendly, very casually competitive atmosphere in our Discord where we're all trying to play our jank to the utmost cutthroat ability.
The Queen of Jank.
Queen of Jank. I don't know. I think one of our next guests who might be joining us soon, Eliana, will be coming for your throne of the Queen of Janky shit.
I'm gonna have to play against her before we do that podcast, so we can determine who truly is the Queen of Jank.
Look, you remember that scene from The Matrix where Morpheus is fighting Neo?
Yeah.
That's gonna be me in the fucking chat just sitting there. Everybody, Alan Oliver fighting!
Funnily enough, I know she loves her Space Wolves, and my Tyranids are veterans of 5th edition going into Space Wolf character spam. I lost a lot of games in 5th edition against Space Wolves, so I'd love to see what they do in 10th.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about Space Wolves in one of our next episodes. So other than that, thank you, Jose, for joining us again. We love having you around.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for sharing your time with us. And that goes for you too, audience.
Thank you for having me. It was great to be here.
Always great to have you. And with that, thanks for coming to the Knight Café, everyone.
Oh, see ya.